Hi, Ralph. Send me a message if you can hear me. You should be able to. How's the audio and how's the video? Hi. Okay, very good. Yeah. So, interesting. I started. I thought I'd do a live stream FT8. I mean, FT8's a bit like watching paint dry anyway. But I thought if I did a live stream on well, I'm using 20 meters. But what's happening is that the wind is blowing my G5 RV around a bit, and when I transmit, it's causing the SWR and the sort of total reflected power to be a little bit variable as the wires are moving around in the wind. Sorry, you probably didn't hear that very well. Hi, Joe. Yeah, so I'm just started transmitting again. I'm using quite high power because I'm using 40 watts, which is quite high power for FT8. I'm just adjusting the match while I transmit. Yeah, so what's happening is that my the G5 RV is kind of swaying around in the wind quite a lot, and so when I transmit, it's moving. The distance from it to the ground is moving, and therefore the SWR is moving a little bit, not too much. My signal's getting out there. In fact, I can show you guys. I don't want here. I'm just moving the camera now. You guys probably can't see this very well, but okay, so that's where I'm getting out at the moment. Hopefully, there you go. That's probably more interesting to look at. So, the signal's getting out there on 20 meters, and I'm just trying to figure out whether any QSO is going to be possible. No, Joe, I've never tried a folding hex beam. In fact, I haven't actually tried very many antennas at all. Right now I'm using a G5 RV, which just about fits into the plot of my new house. And then before that, I've used a wideband vertical, an SCX80. But beyond that, yeah, they're the only two transmitting antennas I think I've used. Oh, actually, no, that's not true, actually. I've just remembered. I have actually used a thing called a super antenna. I can show you that, actually, in the shack. That's that. The super antenna is that thing on the tripod. At the moment, it's kind of set up for 2 meters because I've just started experimenting with FT8 on 2 meters, and there it is there. I've used that for transmitting. I've used that with the ELAD FDM Duo actually when I first got a license 2 or 3 years ago on sort of low power. And to be honest with you, it's not very good. Probably unless you're either on the beach or stood on the top of a hill. But otherwise, yeah, I've just used. Yeah, G5 RV and a wideband vertical. Oh, hi, yeah, I use WSJTZ, a modded version for auto FT8. Oh, right, okay. Yeah, Well, there's a bit of a debate going on with FT8. I mean, there are arguments for and against it. Some people think that it's the saviour of ham radio because nobody can be bothered to learn Morse anymore. But there are others that think that it's too easy. These narrow digital modes make QSOs too easy. And yeah, it's kind of basically, well, they just feel it's de-skilling the whole thing. And I sort of get that. I do sort of get that. But I think at the end of the day, anything that makes the ham radio more popular, for me, it has to be a good thing. In fact, what's happened is that I'm on the committee for Harwell Amateur Radio Society now. And at the last committee meeting, which was the first one I attended, they talked me into doing a talk on FT8 in September, and that'll probably mean setting up a working arrangement and explaining how it all works. And the key to FT8, or the skill, is in setting up the radio to talk to your computer and for routing the audio correctly, communicating with the receiver from the computer, using the right drivers and making sure it's all set up, and virtual audio cables if you need to, etc., etc. Yeah, that's really where the skill lies. There isn't that much skill once you've got the system working, but as you were saying, it's one of those things where you can get on with other jobs and actually make QSOs. And actually, my computer is now in the middle of a QSO with United Alpha 1 Whiskey Charlie Foxtrot. In fact, okay, so we've just made a QSO. So let's just go back. So United Alpha 1 Whiskey Charlie Foxtrot. So United Alpha 1 Whiskey Charlie Foxtrot. Login is okay. I'm just looking this guy up or gal up, but QRZ.com has automatically logged me out. So let's put this guy in again. So United Alpha 1 Whiskey Charlie Foxtrot. Okay, so obviously Russia. Never heard of the place. I'm just going to put it in the map now. Bear with me. Just looking up this guy's QTH on Google Maps. Ah, here we go. Russia. Okay. Right. Okay, so that's my first QSO of the afternoon. Let's go again with Bulgaria. Let's try that. So anyway, that QSO, that's where the guy is on the Belarus border, basically, and that was 40 watts. This is he, Mikhail Sizakov. So that's him, and that's where he is. Okay, right. I'm just answering a CQ call now from an operator in Bulgaria. Let's have a look and see how my signal's getting on. Right. Not bad. Right, let's go back to your comments. Hi, Kevin. Cheers, Tony. Yeah, so anyway, despite the fact that a lot of people think that FT8 is a bit like watching paint dry, this is a live stream. My G5 RV, as I said just now, is kind of swaying in the wind quite a lot, but and it's affecting my SWR a little bit. It's not really changing very much. I've just made a QSO on FT8 with an operator in European Russia here on the border with Belarus. So our system is working. And I'm just answering a CQ call now from a guy in Bulgaria, and he's not hearing me. If you guys got any questions, please feel free to send them. So this is the live map of my signal, 20 meters on PSK reporter. So getting out there. The guy in Bulgaria isn't hearing me, so I'm going to stop calling him. I'm going to start calling CQ again. I don't know if you guys use FT8. If you can call CQ, just keep calling and nobody responds. And then you kind of stop calling, and then literally a minute later, someone's actually calling you. It's kind of weird. I don't know what causes that, but I see that a lot where I'm transmitting. And something, you know, I got it into my head at one point that maybe I was just turned the power down a bit. I don't know. I've done that, and it's kind of triggered an answer to a CQ. It's kind of strange. I'm just going to start calling CQ again now. See what happens. My DXCC blew down in the night. Oh no, snapped my 10 meter fiberglass telescopic pole. Yeah, well, yeah, I know, Kevin. I mean, I was worried when we had, was it Storm Dennis here a couple of weeks ago? It was really windy. I mean, actually, at my QTH in Oxfordshire, I think the winds didn't get any higher than about 60 or 70 miles an hour, which is obviously pretty high. I think it was. I think they're about that high. Maybe here they're a bit less. My G5RV is supported with 3 fishing poles, basically, but the actual conductor, the dipole conductor, is never very taut, even when the thing's set up properly. There's a bit of sag in the wire, so when the poles move around, the wire just kind of flaps around a little bit. And I think, so I can't remember who is at top, but that's actually the better way to have your antenna set up when there's high wind, because if you have tension on the cable, the wind can potentially cause it to break. It's better just have everything a bit looser, which is what's happening now. So the only effect now is that it's just the cable's moving around a lot, and it's causing my SWR to kind of fluctuate when I'm, but I think I'm getting away with it. Right, I'm calling CQ, so let's go back to the map. What have we got? Yeah, so now that I'm calling CQ, a lot more decodes. Decodes have jumped up to 50 reception reports now. Right, let's try this guy in Bulgaria again. Okay. Right, okay, so the guy in Bulgaria has actually responded. LZ2KV. not hearing me. I've just turned the power up 10 watts. Might not be necessary, but no. So he's given up. He didn't hear me. Let's see if he comes back. Thanks, my friend. Yeah, I'm trying to have fun. I've made one QSO with a guy in European Russia. I got a response from an operator in Bulgaria who I can hear him very well. His signal to noise is +1, +3, but he's not actually hearing me. So let's give up on him and just start calling CQ again and see what happens. Okay, he's come back. Very good. Right, there we go, -6 that time. And so LZ2KV. Okay, let's see where this guy is. So he's in Bulgaria, obviously. Okay, so it looks like he didn't hear my 73. Let's hope he heard it that time. And again. Okay, looks like he's heard it. He's now calling CQ. Right. Right. Let's halt that and let's respond to this one. Okay, he's not answering, so let's give up on that. And there's another Bulgarian here, LZ2QW. Let's try that guy. I know what you mean, Joe. Right, what have we got? Okay, so he can't hear me. Let's try this guy in Russia. Kevin, I picked up an SDR Play yesterday. Still trying to figure it out. It's a lot different from the little. Yeah. Which model SDR Play was it, Kevin? An RSP1A or RSP Duo DX? It's in D9G. Yeah. RSP1A, yeah. I've got one of those around here somewhere, actually. Yeah, I've got one of these around here, Kevin. There you go. I've also got the Duo. And I'm lucky because obviously SDR Play usually send me their new, whatever their new model is. So, and there's I won't move the camera, but I've got an RSPDX obviously as well. And what I would say, Kevin, is that you've, for the money, you probably can't buy a better SDR, I don't think, than an RSP1A. I mean, I've used all three versions, and actually, I'm going to Australia a week tomorrow on a business trip to Brisbane. But you know, for 8 days, it's crazy, and I'll take the RSPDX with me. But I've taken all. I think I've taken all of these receivers all over the world, really, and you know, the beauty of all the RSP products, you know, in that sort of product family, is that they're completely portable. You know, power them off 5 volts USB from your computer. All you've really got to do is, as long as you've got power for your laptop, you can use them anywhere. You just need an antenna, Yeah, Joe. The RSPDX and Duo, they are fun little boxes, but they're also really powerful receivers. I mean, I can't. Well, all I can do is do what I've done on my channel, and that is to compare all of the RSP models with what is, I suppose, one of the sort of de facto SDRs, the ELAD, and they all, well, on the RSPDX on medium wave and long wave, well, below 2 megahertz, is at least as good as my ELAD FDM Duo, probably better, and it costs like 25% of the cost of an ELAD. It's crazy. Yeah, Kevin, the IC705, is this the 10 watt portable, isn't it? The 705. I have to remind myself of. Hang on, I'm just looking it up now. ICOM IC705. Yeah. Yeah, that's right, Kevin. I mean, that's like kind of like the holy grail of the DXer is a portable radio with a built-in spectrum and waterfall. I mean, that is literally the holy grail. And I was at the National Hamfest before Christmas, and I'm talking to John Hudson, who's I think he's the owner of SDR Play, or the founder. He's one of the founders anyway, for sure. And I tried to convince him to build a portable radio with a built-in spectrum and waterfall, and he sort of said it's a good idea, but very, very difficult for what is effectively, a small company to make any money, because at the end of the day they build very good receivers, but it is just a circuit board in a black box with some connectors. To turn that into a product, where it's got a sort of user interface, knobs and dials and buttons and God knows what, just makes it really expensive. Yeah, I agree, Kevin. Yeah, it looks amazing. Yeah, I totally agree. I'm planning to. I'm just trying to talk to this guy in Turkey, but he's not having any of it. I'm planning to conduct some of the Friday night nets that we do out on a DXpedition in the good weather, when we get good weather, go and sort of drive to the top of the hill, put up an antenna with a QRP, obviously, transceiver, and see if I can get connected to those guys. And the 705 does look amazing. It really does. I don't know whether ICOM would lend me one to test it. I've not thought about it, but it would be amazing if they did. I mean, that would be great. I've been lucky. I'm lucky because SDR Play send me their stuff, and Benito send me their antennas when they design. But I've been involved in the design, or at least prototype testing, with the Mega Dipole, and obviously they tend to send me their latest products for me to sort of use. Yeah, I'm tempted. Yeah, well, if you're limited to 10 watts anyway, then it's almost a no-brainer. But to use more than 10 watts out in the field anyway life just becomes much more complex, Kevin, because my radio club, they do that. They do competitions, VHF on 2 meters, 70 centimeters, and they've got antennas in the back of Land Rovers, and they go and sort of park on a hill. But it all requires generators, and it just becomes sort of a ridiculous amount of equipment that you need to deploy out in the field if you're going above sort of 10 watts. So, and there's an argument that 10 watts actually requires quite a lot of skill to operate on 10 watts. I mean, I know that from my own experience when I had a foundation license. It's difficult to make yourself heard when 20 or 40 meters are crowded, and trying to make your way through a pile-up is nigh impossible unless you kind of know what you're doing. All right, okay, so LZ2QW So this is a guy in Bulgaria has answered. Let's see what happens. Kevin, I'm assuming it comes with a built-in battery pack that's rechargeable, right? It doesn't sort of run on C cells or D cells. The IC705. They had one at the National Hamfest. It did look amazing. It basically just looks like the front end of a, you know, if you don't look very closely at an Icon 7300 or a 9700, they look basically the same until you sort of look close up. One's for HF, one's for 2 meters, 70 centimeters. The 705 basically looks the same thing, but it's only about 1.5 inches thick. Yeah. Okay, yeah. Yeah, that's right, Kevin. That's how it looked to me. It looked to me like it used the same screen as the 7300. Yeah, it's nice. So just made another QSO. Another Bulgarian. Lima Zulu 2 Quebec Whiskey. So I think that's a Russian and 1 or 2 Bulgarians. I've lost count. Right, how's my signal getting out? Right, let's start calling CQ again. See what happens. There's my current updated map on PSK Reporter. Right. Yeah, yeah. Hi, Agus. Yeah, that was my fault because I'm getting a message from that the stream status is bad, but I think it's because I just went back and did something on my phone. Can you guys, if you guys can still hear me, okay? Let me know. It might be buffering for a little bit. Yeah, no, it's gone. It's saying it's gone bad. Give it a couple of minutes. It'll recover. Okay, it's back, yeah. How's it now? Okay. Okay, good. Right, so where's my signal? So I'm just calling CQ now. 85 reception reports, and I've been streaming now for... Okay, good. I'm good. How long have we been going? Okay, yeah, it's the stream, so 35 minutes. So anyway, yes, Kevin. Yeah, and a 705 would be a very nice piece of kit to have. If I had one, I would take it to Australia next week. When I go next week, I'd take it there. My license doesn't allow for me to transmit. Doesn't for me to transmit abroad. I think you need, because I have an intermediate license, you need a full license for that privilege. But I would still take it with me just for DXing. I'd plug my Benito Mega Loop into it and do that. I would do that probably instead of potentially taking the SDR Play. But I say that, but then actually I probably would end up taking the SDR Play as well. Yeah, no, if I had one, I'd take one for sure. I don't know if you guys need a view of the rest of this, what's going on here, but there you go, that's the view. So I've just started to call Romeo 7 Romeo Charlie. Who is in Sevastopol, apparently, according to QRZ.com. It doesn't look like he's hearing me just yet. Folding hex. Ralph, ham license is a good word. Think about it after years as a shortwave listener. Yeah. Yeah, that's right, Ralph. Folding hex warner for carrying on airplanes. Yeah, that's true, Joe. That's true. The problem is, Joe, is that I call all these trips that I go on. I mean, I treat them as de-expeditions, but the problem is that they're fundamentally that it's I travel. Most of my travel is for work. You know, I go on holiday, you know, maybe once a year. So most of my traveling is work. So, which means that usually I'm resigned to a hotel room, and whilst I do my best to book a hotel room that's got a balcony, if I'm really lucky, for a reasonable cost, you can get a hotel room that's got like a terrace, an outside area, and then you're kind of sort of quids in because you've got space, a lot of space then to put up a mag loop. But a lot of the time, you know, you're literally stuck in a hotel room, and in terms of sort of DXing, that's a worse location to be than being at home, because there's way more noise in your average hotel than there is at home, or at least at my house anyway. It's taking large antennas, unless you're staying somewhere for a long time, is difficult. When I was going to Brazil a lot, you know, I was typically going to be out there for 3, 4, 5 weeks, and with nothing to do in the evenings and out in the middle of nowhere. And as long as you're not scared of the tarantulas and a jaguar jumping out of the bushes to eat you, you know, you can go and park up sort of somewhere pretty secluded on the edge of the jungle and unravel 50 meters of wire and on the ground, and then run back to your Jeep, slam the door shut, wind the windows up because of the creepy crawlies, and then you can sit there listening to radio for 2 or 3 hours. I did that many nights in Brazil. Just in the dark, you don't want to stand on something, you don't want to stand on a wandering spider or a bloody tarantula, or, you know. I used to be sat in that Jeep sweating my proverbials off because there's just too much poisonous stuff flying around in the Brazilian rainforest that could do some damage if it sort of bit you. But yeah, that's right, Joe. Exactly. Right, let's call CQ again. So yeah. The wind's died down a bit actually now. And oh, here we go. Got a call. 9K2HQ. 9K2HQ. Right, so we've been called. Q8. I've got ham radio. I've got like maps and ham radio, world maps to put up in here, which I haven't got around to doing it yet. Which make life a lot easier, trying to identify where some of these stations are. You know, my V2000 is flexing on the roof. Yeah, well, yeah, exactly, Kevin. Yeah, no, well, I just literally said the wind's died down here and it's just picked up again. I'm looking at the half of my G5 RV and it's literally swinging around in the air. Oh, that's interesting. So I'm just going back to the map and I have been decoded. HS1 OLQ. Thailand. All right, so interesting. So my signal has just been decoded in Thailand. I can't remember, that probably has happened before, I can't remember. But my signal's getting out into the Far East now. Let's go back to that. Right. Okay, so here we go. Let's go back to the map. So yeah, so 8 minutes ago, decoded in Thailand. Not bad. I've turned the power up actually. I'm now at maximum 50 watts, but signal's definitely getting out there. Right, what we got? Yeah, not bad. Halfway across the world. I'm going to be around about here not next Sunday, but a week Monday. I'm going to be about here. So yeah, so I'm going to Australia. I'll do a quick video on it actually. I will do a video, but so basically I'm flying to Dubai, and then which is 7 hours I think, and then it's 13.5 hours from Dubai to Brisbane. So not really looking forward to that. Looking forward to seeing Australia for the first time, although it's kind of difficult to get very excited about it as I'm only going to be there sort of 8 days, which is a crazy amount of time to be traveling and a short time actually there. But yeah, it'll be nice to see the place, that's for sure. Harry, hi. Hello, Harry. Kevin, I got to Antarctica. Yeah, Kevin, yeah, I've been decoded by, not on WSPR, but on FT8. My signal has been decoded by the South Korean Antarctic Survey Station, and by the German Antarctic Survey Station. So my FT8 signal has been decoded twice down in Antarctica. I must admit that was a bit of a thrill. I think I did a separate Twitter post when that happened. Yeah. That was amazing. Just goes to show, doesn't it, that down in Antarctica, there's radio geeks down in Antarctica doing FT8 and WSPR. How's the video quality? Still good? Audio still good? This is sort of a test. I've only conducted 2 short tests. One of those was at work where our internet bandwidth is terrible for a business. I think it's much better at home here. Still good. Is the audio okay? Can you hear me? Because people quite often say if you try to do this with an iPhone, which I'm using an iPhone XR, that sometimes the audio is a bit low. But I'm doing my best to kind of speak into it as much as possible. So is the audio still okay as well? It's very simple. It's much simpler to broadcast live using a phone than it is to actually set that up on your computer with a webcam. I've done both, and audio's fine. Good. Yeah, very good. Yeah. So this is the beauty. I mean, like I said, there are for and against camps with FT8. There are those that are for it. There are those that are against it. There are those that believe that it's kind of de-skilling ham radio. But there are others that, because it's so popular, believe that it could be the saviour of ham radio. I understand both points of view, but I think, personally, that the bottom line is that, particularly if you're a foundation license holder, it's difficult to do much with 10 watts. Yes, you can operate QRP, but you are limited. FT8 gives you the option of working stations, all over the world on 10 watts, and for me, I just think it has to be a good thing. Back to where we were. So I'm just calling CQ again. Amazing distances, yeah, that's right. Which of you guys, have any of you guys actually tried FT8 on the chat? Okay, Kevin. Yeah, that'd be good. Yeah, good luck. Good luck repairing your antenna. I need to set up an antenna that's going to allow me to actually decode stations on 2 meters. I've got an antenna that I know I can be heard on, but I've got some antenna stuff to do myself, Kevin. But yeah, good luck. Yeah, I'll let you know. I'll let you know when I'm ready to go portable. Maybe I'll take your advice and write to ICOM and ask them to lend me the 705. You never know. You know, I mean, they're a big company compared to Benito and SDR Play. I don't suppose it could hurt, could it? But anyway, have a good afternoon, Kevin. I'll no doubt talk to you again soon. Yeah, catch you later. Yeah, I will. Cheers, Kevin. 7-3. Catch you later. Oh, there's nothing going on here. Just stop TXing for a couple of minutes and see how we're doing on receive. Right, Greece. Sierra Victor 1, Uniform Lima. Calling CQ. Let's see. Right. And call CQ again and then switch to 40 meters, I think. Give that a try. Maybe even 80. Try this grease station again. I'm still here, so any questions or comments, don't hesitate. That's right, 7074 USB. Well, on the Yaesu FT991, which is what I'm using, actually I'll show you guys that. The actual mode is data USB. It has an actual mode for data, which I've tried USB, but I don't know whether, I can't remember if that's the actual mode you have to use for FT8 or, but there you go. You see data USB, there's RTTY USB, CW USB and USB. Data USB is the de facto mode for FT8 is my understanding, or at least the mode that they advise you to use. Yeah, in fact, if you look at my SWR meter, you can see that the forward power is moving around very slightly. But if you look at my G5RV, it's moving around in the wind a lot, which I think is what's causing the SWR to fluctuate, and therefore the forward power is it is moving around a lot. And I'm assuming that is having an effect in terms of, I guess that's just causing my signal strength to be moving up and down a lot. It's causing a fluctuation in the forward power. So yeah, I'm guessing that the gain at the receiver end at the other end is going to be up and down quite a lot. So and you can actually see on receive, there you go. If you look at the needle now, you can see it's just twitching around a little bit. So there you go. And I don't know whether that's causing, well, it's been doing this ever since the bad weather started. Ooh. Right, so talking about Antarctica, not quite there, but my signal has, I don't know if you can see that very well, but my signal has been decoded in Stanley in the Falkland Islands. There you go, 2 minutes ago. So that's quite cool. And that was while I was calling the station in Greece. So work that one out. I'm not sure I can. I'm just starting to call CQ again. So there you go. So if I start calling CQ now, I wonder if any other decodes in the Southern Ocean area are going to happen. SWR. Forward power is still fluctuating a little bit, but my SWR is still perfect. So that's quite cool. It's been a while since I have been decoded in the Falklands previously, but it's been a while. New one. Whiskey 1 Echo Hotel Quebec. Can I see? Let me put my glasses on. Whiskey 1. No. Not yet. I'll keep a lookout, but no. No. W1 EHQ. W1 EHQ. Actually, I'll tell you what. W1 EHQ. Let me let's go here. W1 EHQ. I think my computer's locked up. Hang on, it's thinking about something. Actually, I can click here. Right, let me sort my computer out. Right. Not quite sure what's happened there, but whiskey 1. So these are the last 24 hours. Whiskey 1. Okay, whiskey 1 kilo Oscar kilo. Whiskey 1 HS. So a couple of whiskey ones. Oh, do it again. You probably can't see from there. Just so, yeah. My live stream. So I don't know if you can still hear me. The stream seems to be good still. My computer kind of like almost crashed. I haven't seen W1EHQ, but I don't know if you saw a couple of others. I'll tell you what has just been received is November 2 Kilo Bravo Foxtrot. Foxtrot November 20 USA. I've just decoded their signal, but the signal's noise is -24. So I'm still calling CQ, and 13 minutes ago I was decoded in Stanley in the Falklands. Just let me know if the video and audio is still okay. I've got a stream status of bad at the moment, but this happens every time I come away from the Okay, good. Thanks, Ralph. Okay. It's telling me the stream status is bad, but I have to check my phone every now and then. And as I'm using my phone, I have to not close down the app. I have to minimize the YouTube app on my iPhone just to check my phone and text messages. And when I do that, the stream status seems to go from good to bad, but I think works perfectly. Very good. Okay, good. So we're still going. Right, okay. I was going to switch to 40, but having been decoded down in the Falklands, my signal's still getting out there. I thought I'd just hang on a little bit longer on 20 meters. 143 reception reports in an hour and a bit. 77 minutes. Not too bad. Keep going a bit longer. Right, let's go to 40 meters. So here's what you do. Go to 40. Right, go back to the radio. Band. With that, mode, with that, okay. Right, and then let's turn the power down to about 20 for now. And let's start calling CQ. Before we do that, let's click the inductor down 2 notches on the MFJ. Enable TX, and then we're going to put 20 watts through the MFJ. When it does that, okay, we need to turn the DT gain up. So we've got about there. Let's go one more. I've got antenna analyzer, which I could show you. This way's quicker if you get it right, which I am now that I'm actually on the right. It's funny because it changes. The inductor for 40 meters is usually H, sometimes I. It is variable. I can't really explain it. Yeah, it's weird. But I mean, we're SWR is now more than good enough. It should tune perfectly. Well, there you go. That's matched perfectly. 20. So now it's safe to crank the power up a bit. So let's go to 40. And then the next thing to do is just adjust the DT gain. Right, a bit high, let's just turn that down. That's about right. Okay, right, what have we got? 40. Okay, so there's a signal from European Russia. Okay. Lovely. Well, enjoy your Italian or Greek food. Yeah. Thanks for stopping by at least. I know that FT8 some people think it's boring anyway, but I sort of do this quite a lot on a Saturday afternoon, and just thought I'd share it with you guys. But have a good evening and have a nice meal. Hopefully I'm going to do the same. So, okay. It's an hour on 40 meters. Let's see. We should. I'm just going to PSK reporter now, and stuff should start turning blue. Yes, it is. Let's have a look at, actually, what we do have on here is grid tracker. Let's have a look at and 40. Interesting that there's more stations operating on 20, but no worries. Let's see what happens. Let's have a look at the bands, actually. As usual, 40 meters, well, 80 to 40 is good, and 30 to 20 is fair. I think that must have been the situation for the last however many months. Can't remember. Okay, so right, so I've been on 40 meters, been transmitting for a minute or two, so I've already been decoded in Norway and Spain, several in Central Europe, just calling CQ. Maybe turn the power down a little bit at some point, possibly, but let's see. Back to the map. So this is typical. So if you spend an hour or so, an hour or two on 20, you in the afternoon, you nearly always decoded across the Atlantic. Not for me, at least, with the orientation of this antenna, not so much into Asia. And then switching over to 40, it tends to be decodes in the east, in range, because obviously to the west in range right now there's not much land, not many monitors, but as the afternoon progresses, I should get some decodes in North America as well. It's quite a good tool, actually, FT8, for just checking propagation. If you can be bothered to get the whole thing going, it's quite useful from that point of view. So yeah, so still going. Right, so an Italian station and a European Russian station is calling, Romeo 2 Hotel Romeo. So I'm just manually answering his CQ. I've got him as -5 signal to noise, which is pretty decent. Let's see if he can hear me on 50 watts.
thinking possibly not, unless that's because is my signal getting into? That's not him. That's Ukraine. Not sure my signal's getting far enough east yet. So I'm answering his call, and he's just CQ'd again, so he can't hear me. But let's see. So 205 reception reports now. There's also an Italian station calling. India Tango 9, Bravo Golf Yankee, JM 77. So that's definitely in southern Italy. So the Russian station definitely can't hear me. I'll give up on that. I'm just going to see if that Italian station is going to come back. I think we've got a chance. Oh, okay. So Polish station's just calling now. Sierra Quebec 5 Whiskey Romeo -3 signal to noise, strong signal. Looks as if I'm hitting Poland. Am I hitting Poland? Yeah. I'm not sure if he's decoded me yet, but at least two Polish stations have. Actually, more than two. SQ9. Who's this guy? SQ5WR. SQ5WR. So several Polish stations are hearing me. Not the one I'm calling, as is usually the case. There you go. Nevertheless, getting out there. Right, I'm just calling a Romanian station. Oh, now a Finnish station is calling. Oscar Hotel 6 Uniform Kilo. Okay, so I'm still using. I thought I was using 50. I've just remembered I'm using 40 watts right now, so I might turn it up another 10, crank it up another 10 watts and see if that makes a difference. No QSOs so far on 40, plenty of D codes. Let's see. I'm just calling CQ now, so interesting. The Russian station, Romeo 2 Hotel Romeo, has a signal strength of -2, so signal to noise, which is that's strong.
Just going back up to 50 watts.
There's a guy at my radio club at Harwell Amateur Radio Society. He's got a full license, and he actually he sometimes uses 200 watts, or is it 400 watts on FT8, and he can make contact with stations in sort of Pacific region with that sort of power. Amazing, really. Think about it. But he's also the guy who's also got broken. He's always got broken antennas and kit that's not working, and I sort of wonder whether, I don't know, throwing 400 watts at this sort of thing is necessarily a good idea. I suppose it is if his antenna's rated at half a kilowatt or a kilowatt or whatever. But I don't have that privilege. Right. I was thinking of trying FT8. I've got an FT991A. As far as I can tell, all you need is the USB cable to the radio and the correct software. Okay, so I'm actually using an FT991. Mr. or Mrs. Wardley. I'm assuming usually Mr. Which is basically almost identical to yours, not quite as good. So what you've actually got is there's two USB cables. There's one USB cable, and there's a cable. Well, they both terminate in USB, but one's for the cat and one's for the audio. One's got a D type connector, and the other is a USB. I can't remember the code name, but it's the USB connector cable that you see on a printer, and they both connect into the laptop. So there's actually two cables you need: one for the audio, and for the cat control, if that makes sense. Right, I'm just straightening out the camera again. So hopefully that does make sense. And as I've said, the whole thing with FT8 is the skill really is in setting it up. If you can get the thing set up, then that's really where most of the skill is. Once it's set up, other than bits of software not working or whatever, it's pretty straightforward. So basically it's two USB cables that plug into your laptop or your computer. And one of them's is a USB cable, but it's the type that terminates as you would for a printer, so it's like a printer cable. The other is USB at one end and a D-type connector at the other, and one's for the cat and one's for the audio. That's the beauty of the Yaesu FT991 and the A is that they have a built-in sound card, which means that you don't need that kind of intermediate interface box, with a sound card. It's built in, and that's one of the benefits of the Yaesu. I've got a friend who's got a Kenwood TS2000 and still hasn't made it work with FT8 yet, because you need this kind of, it's not homebrew because you can buy them, but they're built obviously in small quantities because they're very specialized bits of kit. But basically it's a sound card or some kind of sound sort of, not processing, but it what does it do? It mitigates the fact that the TS2000 doesn't have a built-in sound card, but the Yaesu FT991 does. Hi, Kevin. I'm back. The cable is USB AB. Yeah, exactly. Printer cable. That's right, Kevin. So you need one of those. I think that's the audio, and then the other is USB to D type connector, which I think is the CAT. Now, in fact, why don't I get what I can do is get a rear panel Yaesu FT991 images. Right, okay, there you go. That'll do. I don't know if you guys can see that, but actually that was not very big. Let's go for tools, size, large. How's that one looking? Open image, new tab. No, even smaller. Well, that should do it, shouldn't it? Hang on, I'm just getting an image. The back of one of these. Ta-da! Right, CAT. Yes, that's right. GPS CAT. So this cable here. I can't remember where I got mine. I probably did it come with the radio? I'm not sure. I can't remember if it did or not because I bought the radio from Lamco second hand in Barnsley for about 600 quid. And then so one connects to here, the CAT into the, and then this is the audio here, USB audio, and they're the two that you need. Yeah. The one comment I will make is that making the Yaesu work with FT8 was much more straightforward than making my ELAD FDM Duo SDR. When I got my foundation license, my ELAD FDM Duo was the only transceiver that I actually owned. I don't know if you guys know how much you know about it, but I bought it obviously because it was one of the kind of one of the best SDR receivers at the time when it came out, but it has a control panel so you can operate it kind of like a traditional radio, which is nice. Actually, the ergonomics are horrendous, so I hardly ever do that, but you can. I bought it basically because I wanted a high quality SDR receiver, but it also has mine's got the version with a TX board, so you can TX on 5 watts, and again the two cables, but actually making that radio operate on FT8 with this laptop, actually this Lenovo that I'm using right now, was a total pain in the backside. But I eventually managed to make it work, and I made several hundred QSOs actually using that ELAD. But the process of getting it set up and getting it working was an absolute nightmare. It really was. It's much more straightforward. With the Yaesu, if you do a Google search for audio driver Yaesu FT991A FT8, there's a particular driver package that you have to download, but it's just you just put it on your computer and double click it, and it will set itself up, and then you have to go to device panel to and select those drivers. Do that with the cables, and it should just basically work. Mine did. So whereas it took quite a while to get the ELAD set up for FT8, I'm talking like days of fiddling around and what have you. The day that I bought the ELAD, we set it up on my station at work, and we got it working in about 10 minutes, 15 minutes. Didn't take very long at all. So my 40 meter signal getting out there. I'm waiting for something to happen here, North America. Let's see. No QSOs yet. Right, I'm just going to try the Polish station again. Yeah. Yeah, no, it was a good choice. Yeah, the 991's a good radio. I'm sat here looking at it thinking I wish I'd bought an Icom 7300, but you know, that's 1,200 quid. In fact, I saw one advertised second hand on Lamco. They did have one for 899, but for FT8, the 991, yeah, is a very good choice because it's literally two cables. Yeah, you're right. It's a USB to serial cable for the cat, and then a USB AB cable, as Kevin said, printer cable. That and the driver package, the driver package from Yaesu, actually, when you open it up, there's two. They're called, I think it's bridge drivers. There's two bridge drivers that will automatically appear in your on-device panel. You just have to select them really, and then when you select those drivers in the software, WSJTX, it works straight away. The cat works straight away, and the audio works. So and then when that's working, you're good to go basically. I didn't have to do anything in terms of the levels on the computer. The levels on receive are always in the green. About 50 to 60 dBs. So yeah, it was a good choice. So I've been calling CQ and calling various stations for about 20 minutes. No QSO, so I'm going to turn the power down to about 25 watts and see what happens. So I've turned the power down 25 watts and I've just started calling CQ, so let's see. Having used FT8 for a couple of years now, what I find is that if you want to collect a lot of QSOs quickly, is 40 meters in the morning from about, well, whatever time you wake up really, from about 7 o'clock when there are people on. It can be literally QSO contact after contact. It's that good on 40 in the morning. 20 late morning, early afternoon. But yeah, it can be that good. Yeah, I've used it on 17 and 10 meters on a sort of broadband vertical SEX80. I don't know if you're aware of that antenna that I also own. I don't have that antenna set up here yet, but yeah, I've used it. I've used it on 80 meters, had success. Yeah, last week I started experimenting on 2 meters because I've got a homebrew collinear and I've got a super antenna, both of which you can use on 2 meters and 70 centimeters. And I've been decoded on 2 meters using that antenna, just sat on a box in the back garden in Northern Ireland and down into Cornwall. But I've not ever actually decoded a signal on it because these antennas are designed to be on the roof. So although I can be heard by brute force, by pushing 25 watts through it, I've not actually ever decoded anybody on 2 meters, and so I need to sort that out. But yeah, I've used it on 17 and 10, no problem at all. So changing the power level doesn't seem to have had any effect. 338 reception reports since I went live 109 minutes ago. No QSOs on 40 meters, had 2 or 3 on 20. Just turning the power back up. Yeah, no, I chopped the power down to 25, Kevin, and made no difference at all. Yeah, it could be overdriving, but there's the digital gain, the DT gain. The 991 is a bit susceptible to that. You have to notch back the DT gain, so it just about goes in the red. I don't think it's overdriving the audio because I was making QSOs on 50, and it was not an issue. But why don't we try? I do love an experiment. And the fact that I'm being decoded on 40 leads me to believe that there isn't an issue. But what I could do, what I'll do is I'll switch the camera back on the map. I'll zoom in and we'll wait. I'll zoom in to just Europe. Right, there we go. Right, so that's where we are right now. I'm still on 50 watts. I'll notch it back down to 10, as Kevin suggests, and we'll see what happens. I'm calling CQ and nothing's happening. Right. Greg. Hi, Greg. Okay, whatever sort of do. It's too high, don't get picked up. Yeah, it's interesting, Kevin. Yeah, no, I mean, I'm being decoded all over the place, so there doesn't seem to be an issue with overdriving it. But yeah, I have noticed in the past where I've not made contacts and I've just turned the power down, and it might just be just simple luck. You know, it's that kind of voodoo engineering. We have it at work. Where I work, we build superconducting magnets and MRI systems, and because superconductivity kind of relies on quantum physics, engineering products that utilize that sort of phenomena, when things go wrong, you know, it's easy to kind of, you know, sometimes it's impossible to ascertain a failure mode just following the usual kind of laws of physics, and then the whole kind of like, well, we've been doing this 20 years and the whole voodoo engineering thing comes into it. And it's a similar sort of philosophy with FT8. If you're being decoded all over the continent, but no one actually is answering your CQ call, or no one responds to you when you call them, you start sort of thinking, well, you know, if I just tweak this parameter or just tweak this level or do this or do that, will that make a difference? And it's just one of those things where I've noticed where I've been running sort of quite high power, if I crank it down to 25 watts, and then so here you go. So I've just proven that correct, because I've just called a station in Germany, Delta Juliet 6 Sierra X-ray, and he's actually responded, and that's the first station that's responded to a direct call from me on 40 meters, and we're still using 50 watts. So yeah, so there you go. I'll just go back. So there was me. I thought, you know, I think it was a good shout of yours actually to crank the power down. Like I said, in the past, I've done exactly the same thing. I thought to myself, well, I'll crank the power down, and then I've suddenly made a QSO. Or actually, what I've noticed is that if I've been calling CQ for ages and no one's responded, I've just halted my TX and just sat there for 10 minutes, and then someone's called me when I've not been actually transmitting. So anyway, I've just responded. That was a German, so DJ6SX, and I've just responded to another German call, DD7WL. Yeah, possibly. Yeah, maybe I'm only decoding them some of the time, but well, I've been broadcasting now for 116 minutes, Kevin, and I have currently 348 reception reports, so I've been decoded 350 times in 117 minutes. So on average, I'm being decoded more than twice a minute. That's probably not bad. You know, it's not a bad rate. I mean, I've sat here before for 2 or 3 hours and been decoded 600 times. So here you go. So this German station, Delta 7 Whiskey Lima, is now answering my call. Another German station. Yeah, possible. Yeah, it's possible as well. Yeah, it's like I said, it's this whole idea of, I mean, I just got it into my head that if you call CQ for a long time, you're being decoded, no problem, but you call CQ and no one answers your CQ call, or nobody responds when you call them directly, you know, is it something to do with your settings? And, you know, I suppose potentially it could be, but the bottom line is that okay, so that's another contact completed. The bottom line is that if you're being decoded all over the continent, there can't be very much wrong with the settings that you're using, you know. But I completely understand what you're saying. Completely get it. It just, you know, your brain starts, you know, the cogs start whirring. You start thinking, what's wrong here? You know, I'm exactly the same. And like I said, we have a similar sort of thing at where I work, where, you know, we build these superconducting magnets, and every now and then, you know, we get a failure, and we're like, you know, what's caused that? You know, yeah. So there you go. So two very quick. It could also be propagation, of course. It could be that the propagation from here, you know, between here and Germany is good. I've just completed two contacts with 2 German stations. It could be that, of course. Yeah, interesting. So now I'm not broadcasting. My 40-meter signal has not made it across the Atlantic yet. Okay, Italy, Zulu 3, Lima, Charlie, Echo. Let's try that Italian station. So yeah, interesting. Your line in level is slightly higher than recommended. I'm sure I had 30 to 40. Don't know. But my line in level, really, that would only affect the stations that that's the audio in. Yeah, no, I think that would only affect. I think that would only affect the stations that I'm decoding, and I'm decoding quite a lot of stations. If you look at it, it's green, so I think it's okay. If it goes above 60 or 70 or maybe even 80, it turns red, but you can see that the line in is green. So I think that means it's okay. If it goes higher or too high, that little bar turns red. So here you go. So I'm calling this Italian station. I've been answering his CQ call, and he's not responding. DD7WL DJ6. So his DJ6. Okay, that's the station I've already made contact with. So just hold off for a minute or two. I'll make my next move. No problem at all. Yeah, no, my pleasure. Yeah, no, that's good. It was nice to chat this afternoon. I enjoyed it. Let's try this. Okay, Greg. Yeah. Yeah, got that, Greg. can't see you yet. Greg, can you see my, have you decoded my signal yet? 2 Echo Zero Hotel Tango Golf. I haven't seen your call yet. Okay, no, I haven't seen you yet either. In fact, what I'll do, Greg, is that I've just been calling a Turkish station. I've just started CQing now. Okay, so you might not have seen me anyway, but I've just started CQing. Next stop. Just making a cup of coffee. I'll be 2 minutes, but keep going. Okay, yeah, all right, Greg, yeah. I've just been called by the Delta Foxtrot 2 Kilo Delta. On my side, a strong signal at 774% where you are. They're probably QRA. Oh, yeah, okay, yeah, that's where I am, yeah. I can, okay, I can shift it. Is if plus 600 isn't working, is what from... Do you want me to move? I can move the offset if you want. What suits you better on your spectrum? I'm just making a contact with another German station. 1. Okay, all right, 1100. Yeah, okay. All right, 1 sec. I'll start calling CQ in a second. Let me just finish this. Okay, fine. One more, DL4. I'm just going to try Delta Lima 4, Charlie Quebec, because their signal is 0 dB, signal to noise 0 dBs, and then I'll CQ on 1100. Okay, another one done. Right, okay. TX. EQ. Okay, right, I'm calling on 1100. Greg. Your call's Oscar Hotel 2 Foxtrot Yankee. Greg, yeah? Yeah, I'm sure it is. I've just messaged you. No. Okay. I've made 4 CQ calls, Greg. Let me go back to the map. Where am I making it? You're in Finland, right? I'm just going back to the PSK map. Am I making it into Finland? Hang on. There's Finland. So, Greg, yeah, I'll just go back to the map. There you go. That's kind of, if you can see that. So there's Finland, or some of it. So I am making it into Finland. OH6LSL, OH6AH, OH3. When was this? 9 minutes ago, 9 minutes ago, 7 minutes ago. Yeah, nothing. I'm still CQing. Let's go again. Yeah. 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 How far up north, Greg, in Finland are you? Well, actually, if you tell me what's your locator number. Because so far I've got up to KP13 on 40. KP20. Okay, KP20. Where is that? Okay, right, yeah. Okay, that's interesting. Wow, my signal's getting there, just not to you. So you're in the Helsinki area. So it's already dark with you, Greg. Oh. 2 minutes ago I was decoded by OH2BUA, 3 minutes ago OH3BHL, 4 minutes ago OG5N, Oscar Golf 5 November, 432. OH2BNF, so east of Helsinki, in that blank spot, yeah. Yeah, okay. So, well, let's keep going. I mean, you never know, it might happen. I'm not seeing any, I'm not decoding any OH calls right now. Although I did actually see, there was a call from Finland earlier actually. I did see a call from Finland, but I didn't answer it. Where was it? There was a call from Finland. Here you go, Finland. Yeah, Oscar Hotel 6, Uniform Kilo, KP03 Finland. I decoded that signal at 16:16 hours. Yeah, I think we do have a chance, yeah. Yep, agree. I take it you can still hear my audio okay, Greg? You're answering my question, so yeah, you must be able to. Okay. Okay, cool. Video quality still decent. Should be, I think, 720. It defaults to 720 on a iPhone XR or... Okay, cool. Right. OH. Oh. Strongest signals right now are coming in from Germany. Delta Hotel 4 Papa Alpha Papa is strong at +4 right now. on. Yeah. 20 minutes, yeah. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's right. Exactly. Yeah, I had well, if I just view 20. Yeah, on 20 meters I must have been decoded 200 times in the space of about an hour and 20 or whatever it was. And I think I had 3 QSOs all afternoon. So yeah, weird. Was a bit weird. No, okay. On average, I mean, do you normally see a lot of UK calls? I guess you probably do. Oh, Wales, right? Okay. Yeah, I'm not usually on. I'm not usually on foot. Yeah. A couple of you. Yeah. Okay. Right. Yeah. Yeah. Well, I'm still calling CQ, and I've got a station from Poland and a station from Asiatic Turkey calling CQ, but nothing from Scandinavia, or certainly not OH prefix. Let me just go back to my map. So I haven't been decoded in Finland for, well, 5 minutes ago. OH1 NJN. Oh, hang on. Oh, no, actually. 3 minutes ago. OH6 LSL. Yeah, but they've decoded me previously. So how far is my signal getting? Yeah, interesting. I'm not getting across the Atlantic today. I normally do. Oh wow, look at that. Sydney, Australia, 20 meters, 20 minutes ago. 19 dBs. So it's definitely working. Yeah, I don't know if you saw, Greg, earlier. I was decoded in Stanley in the Falklands on 20. can't remember the last time I was decoded on 40 meters. Well, probably in the morning, actually, in the summer. Been a while since I was decoded in Australia on 40, though. Let's go back to Finland. Okay. 3 minutes ago. OH4NDU. Give me a change of scenery. So. Interesting, actually. My phone isn't the charging on my phone while I'm broadcasting live doing this isn't keeping up with the battery status. So it's actually, my phone is complaining that the battery's running low, even though I've got it plugged in. In fact, I might try something else. So no sign, Greg, of my signal yet with you. Still no sign. No. Yeah, no. Not here. I don't think it's normal though. No, maybe not. No. I was going to PSK Reporter. It's a good website, functionality wise, but it's always crashing. On 20 meters earlier. Yeah, there was something. The conditions were a bit weird on 20. 150 decodes, and I think I made either 2 or 3 QSOs. 150 decodes and 3 QSOs and I think I've made a few contacts on 40 meters, but not so many when you consider that I have 475 reception reports from this afternoon, basically 20 and 40, and I've made I don't know 7 or 8 contacts in 475 decodes. Doesn't seem very much, does it? at all, really. This might affect. I'm just going to minimize the YouTube app and see what my phone battery's doing. Greg, just 1 second. Okay, I'm back. Yeah, funny. I don't know if you use an iPhone, but when you minimize the app, the YouTube app that I'm using to broadcast live, the stream status just goes to bad. And then takes a minute or so to recover. But I don't know if that affects you, and I don't know if you can still hear me, even though it's saying stream status bad. You may still be able to hear me, may still have video as well. I'm not sure. I'm just getting everything's gone red on the YouTube streaming page. Okay, good. Will you lose vid and audio and get a buffering wheel? Right, okay. Oh, Kevin, you're still there. Yeah, Greg and I are trying to complete a contact on FT8. We tried this actually previously. And he's not seeing my signal and I'm not seeing his, which is slightly annoying, but we're going for it. Oh, here you go, Greg. OH1NJN, Finland 8. I'll tell you what, let's just see if I can actually work that guy, just as a test. So Oscar Hotel 1 is a Finnish station. Oscar Hotel 1, November, Juliet, November. Okay, so someone else has already jumped in. Well, you never know, Greg. I don't know if that means propagation's changing a little bit. On a Chromecast. I've had a couple of Chromecasts, Kev. I bought one because I want to take a computer on holiday, and I think I paid about 180 quid for it, and I just figured, well, if it gets nicked from the hotel or I break it, it won't be quite as big a problem as if I took my MacBook. And it was really good. Yeah, no, I find that Chromecast is good. It shouldn't really make a great deal of difference, I don't think. The buffering is it's caused by me because I'm affecting what the camera's doing, the phone's doing effectively. Yeah, the Chromecast should be okay, as long as you've got good internet bandwidth yourself. Greg, he's on the very west. Yeah, I did see him on the map actually. Yeah, so he's some way away from you. But let's just see. Oh no, that's not you. I got excited there for a second, Greg. I've got OE6 FYG. Let's just see if NJN OH1NJN can actually. He's decoded my signal this afternoon. Let's see if we can do a QSO. Right, so I'm calling him now. He's just finished a contact with Oscar Kilo 1. I don't got glasses on. Oscar Kilo 1 Sierra. Okay, yeah. Kevin, yeah, why not? Give it a go. Okay, so he's calling CQ again. Right, he's calling CQ again, and I'm responding. His signal with me is -6 dB signal to noise. All right, Kevin. Come on. No, he can't. He's not hearing me. Greg. Just keep trying for a bit more, and then I'll keep trying for another couple of minutes, Greg, and then I'll go back to BRB. Wee. Okay. No. Oh, right. Sorry, Kevin. Chromecast TV stick. Right. Yeah. No, that should be okay. Yeah. Yeah, that should be fine. Yeah. All right, Kev. Yeah. Try and see if you can copy us. I'm answering the CQ call of Oscar Hotel 1 November Juliet November, who's on the west coast in Finland, which is where Greg is. Greg is in the sort of Helsinki area. He and I have been, so he can't hear me. I'm trying to make contact on FT8 for, well, I think we tried about a week ago, maybe longer, 2 weeks ago. I can't remember exactly, but we tried a while ago and didn't make it. I'm just having another go now. Can everybody still see the image, video okay, and hear me okay? Just give me a thumbs up. Still okay, but I have to race off. Okay, Greg, no problem. No problem. Well, we can try again. Try again another time. It's a shame we didn't make contact, but hi Rob, how you doing? Yeah, shame we didn't make contact, Greg, but it was still fun trying. We can try again sometime. What I just set this at the top end of FT8 area. Start calling. Hopefully, no one will answer. Yeah. It's a good idea. Well, I've been calling this guy in Finland now for several minutes, and he isn't hearing me. So let me start seeking. Let me just have a quick look. Where are we? Yeah. Okay. So 1100 is still good. Austria. Okay, power still 50 watts. Right, Germany. Let's give this guy a whirl. Right, Greg, I'm just going to try and see if I can make a couple of QSOs while you... I don't know if you're sticking around or not. When my other laptop starts behaving itself, I'll show everybody the latest version of my signal on PSK Reporter. Okay, is it working? So this guy doesn't seem to be able to hear me either, which is fine. Let's... Oh, yes, he does hear me. Right, okay, very good. Okay, quick QSO. Oh, right, okay. So this is... right. Right, okay. Another station. Okay, I set up to call and we'll leave it running. If your machine hears a call, you should... Which answer it might be. Okay, all right, Greg. Yeah, no worries. Yeah, thanks for at least having an attempt today. We'll try again. But if I see a signal, I'll answer. Right. So okay, so that's another contact we've just made. So just for some of you that might not have been here a bit earlier, so I set this live stream up this afternoon to do some FT8, and I started on 20 meters. Conditions were a bit weird actually. I was decoded on 20 meters about 150 times in various places, but only made sort of 2 or 3 QSOs, and whether there's something going on with conditions or not, I'm not sure. But you can see from the map there that on 20 meters I was actually decoded down in Stanley in the Falkland Islands, across into North America and in Thailand, and then after about an hour and a half I switched over to 40, and I've now been decoded about 500 times this afternoon, but twice in Australia in the Sydney area, as you can see, which is nice. But let's go back because now things are sort of starting to happen a little bit. Greg and I have been trying to make contact on FT8 for a while. Well, this is the second, this is only the second time we tried, but we tried about a week or 2 ago and didn't manage it. Greg's left his station running, calling CQ, so if I see it, I will respond to it. Right now, German stations, I've had quite a lot of success making contact with various German stations this afternoon on 40 meters. Most of them seem to be answering. Yeah, I mean, I'll make the point again about FT8. Obviously, there are 2 camps with FT8. There are people that really do support it, and there are others that... hi there, hiya. There are others that think that it's de-skilling ham radio, devaluing ham radio because there's no skill in making a contact on FT8. I do get that point of view, but at the same time, it is so popular that, you know, there are people who go to the trouble of getting, say, a foundation license, and I know this from my own club. They go to the trouble of doing it, and then they literally walk away and they never see them again. There are many people, 50% of the people that take exams with our club, particularly foundation, people at the starting, they take the exam and then we never see them again. And maybe it's because the realization that, you know, that getting out there, getting heard on SSB with 10 watts QRP is difficult, particularly for a beginner. FT8 gives that person the opportunity to make hundreds of contacts, thousands of contacts with low power. I did it when I got my foundation license with 5 watts on the ELAD. I made hundreds of contacts on FT8 with the ELAD FTM Duo on 5 watts and an 80 quid wideband vertical antenna, the SEX80. The skill is in, as I said earlier, is in setting up the radio and the computer to talk to each other. You know, downloading the right drivers, getting the right cables, getting everything connected correctly, routing the audio. Sometimes you need a virtual audio cable to route the audio into WSJTX. The skill is in the setup. It isn't in making QSOs, other than making sure you've got a good aerial that's properly orientated, matched, etc., etc. There's that part of it as well, but you know, it's obviously a lot easier than learning Morse. So for me personally, I think FT8 is great. You know, you just have to take it for what it is how I see it. Yeah, so I'm a supporter of FT8. Okay, DL7 VTE complete. Another FT8 is great. The volts. FT8 is great technology. The fact that it makes it easy just proves its greatness. Yeah, I think that's true. Yeah, wouldn't disagree with that. I think that's actually true. Anything that G4KDX, connecting the laptop to the rig and getting them to talk to each other is enough to put anyone off. Yeah, well, that's exactly right. I mean, that is actually true. That is where the skill is. The skill is setting it up and getting it working in the first place. I agree with that. I'll tell you, getting the ELAD FDM Duo talking to my laptop for FT8 was an absolute pain in the backside. It took me days to figure it out. Eventually I did, and then it would just kind of like stop working. I have to reboot the whole thing, but it took days to get the ELAD working on FT8. Interestingly, the Yaesu FT991, which is the radio, you can't really see it from here, but it's down, it's way down there at the bottom, but you know what a 991 is. That was much simpler. You need a USB to serial cable for the CAT, and you need a USB A/B printer cable for the audio. Plug it into the computer. You need to download the Yaesu driver pack, which has got two what they call bridge drivers in it, and it just works. I got it working within sort of 10 minutes, but I think that's probably untypical. Generally, it's a bit of a pain getting it going, and that's where the skill is in persevering with the setup to make the thing work. Once you've done that, then you can sit around on a Saturday afternoon and relax and make QSOs and not have to try very hard, which is good. It's just another element of it. It's not the whole of ham radio, but it's another element of ham radio that is enjoyable. You know, you haven't got to sit here and talk to anybody, even though I am taking the time to talk to you. I hope you're all very grateful. But you know, it's you know, you don't have to sit around tuning the band, you know, tuning up and down 20 and 40 meters, you know, looking for a CQ call, or you know, I think it's good. It's good, and it is very, very popular. So I think the Volts is right. That says it all, really. The fact that it is so popular, it speaks for itself. So here I am calling another Croatian station who cannot hear me, so I'm going to give up on that. Let's have a look at the spectrum. How's it looking? Where's all the activity? Okay, it's all here. That's fine. Just wait a couple of minutes. So I'm Greg, OH, Oscar Hotel 2, Foxtrot Yankee. Is still broadcast. He's transmitting remote. He's left his system running remotely just in case, but I haven't decoded him yet. For an FT817, you must have a CAT cable as well as data, and then spend hours going through settings until the rig finally clunks into transmit. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, exactly. A CAT cable. Well, if it's the same as the FT991, the CAT cable is basically it's USB at one end for the laptop, and it's a D-type connector, like an old computer D-type connector at the other for the CAT, and then there's an audio cable, which is just a standard USB printer cable. Yeah, I managed for the FT991. I found a helpful document. Someone else had already been through this pain, and sort of rather helpfully had documented the settings. So it's a case of making sure I had both cables, downloading the drivers, installing the drivers on the laptop, installing WSJTX, going into the settings, putting all the settings in correctly as per the document that I found online, selecting the right drivers, USB codec for input and output, and then eventually, and then there were various settings on the radio as well that had to be set, and it started working. I'm sort of jumping around now, trying to get people's attention, but right, what else have we got? Newer transceivers, especially SDR based, will likely have adaptive. Yeah, that's true. The volts, I think that's true. And newer transceivers, like for example, my ICOM IC756, which is probably, I don't know how old that is, maybe 20 years old. That overall for SSB, that's a better radio than the Yaesu FT991, but it doesn't have an onboard sound card, so there's even more work to do to get a radio like that, or something like a Kenwood TS2000 to work on FT8. You need like an intermediate like soundboard. Whereas the FT991, which is much newer, has a onboard built-in sound card, so it's easier. You just need the cables and the software. But you're right, yeah. Right, I'm just answering a CQ call from a German station. Let's see. What's my signal doing? Yep. Okay, so he's answered. So just to give you guys an idea, I'm just looking at PSK report again. Since I started broadcasting live 171 minutes ago, wow, I've been decoded 520 times. So my signal's been heard and decoded successfully 521 times today. The furthest away is in the Sydney area, Australia, which is timely as I'm going to be in Australia. I'm flying a week tomorrow. Okay, so another contact, Delta Lima 8 Sierra Bravo Delta, another German station. Let's try this Hungarian station again. Hotel Alpha Zero, Hotel. So just in case any of you weren't here earlier, I'm broadcasting, transmitting with 50 watts into a G5RV, which is being blown around in the wind, swinging around quite nicely, about 8 or 9 meters above the ground in my back garden. It's been causing my forward power to fluctuate a little bit, presumably because the SWR is fluctuating as the cable changes distance to the ground and objects in the garden. But overall, the system does seem to be working. Although I'm fairly sure that this guy or girl in Hungary can't hear me. So let's just hold off for a second. What about FT4? FT4 is the fast version of FT8. I think is that correct? I think that's correct. I mean FT4 is the high powered is the faster version of FT8, and I've not tried it. A guy that works for me, G1ZMA, he has tried it. I think it's the same as everything. If you go to PSK, if I go to PSK Reporter, so on FT8, this is the thing. So on FT8 right now, sorry, I'm just going to start calling a European Russian station. On 40 meters, there are 800. There are 870 monitors right now for FT8 on 40 meters. On FT8, if you go to FT4, there's going to be a lot less. And as I said, for me, the speed at which you can complete a QSO on FT8, for me personally, is already fast enough. I don't need to complete a QSO any faster than I am already. I guess there, I guess there are potentially other ham operators that would prefer it all to be a bit quicker. I just don't get that myself personally. I just don't get it. I think FT8's more than fast enough. What I have tried is FT Call, and this is the version whereby you can actually type messages and have in theory, you can have an actual conversation. You can have an actual conversation with another operator, and that I've tried, and that is absolutely rubbish. And the reason for that is because it's so slow to have a conversation. A simple conversation like, hi, how are you? What's your QTH? Your signal level is blah, blah, blah. Can take like half an hour. It's literally, when I used it last year, and just found that it was just no good at all. It was just literally so slow. It was pointless. So I gave up on it. I'm sorry to say, it wasn't any good, not for me. And as for FT4, I've not tried it, but it's basically the same as FT8, but I think it's twice the speed, so you can get twice as much done in the same period of time. Right. I've seen some videos with PSK31 used for this purpose. Seems to be reasonably fast for chat. Yeah, maybe. Yeah, I've not tried PSK31. Quite possibly. Quite possibly. Amazing how propagation changes. About 20 minutes ago, half an hour ago, I was making contact with German station after German station after German station, and now they've gone. And I've got an Italian station who has actually answered my call. Very good. Let's see what happens. What's the signal strength? Minus 11 dB signal to noise, minus 12. Okay, so he can hear me about as well as I can hear him. Very good. I don't know if any of you follow my Twitter feed or not, but I'm too lazy to. I did actually get some QSL cards printed, but it's such a fag getting them sent out. You know, hard copy. I will do it on a special on a special request, but otherwise it's just such a pain. I use eQSL, so I have the image of my QSL card uploaded with an account. I've got 2 accounts actually. I started with my foundation license, Mike 6 Yankee Charlie Golf, and now obviously my intermediate. So I only obviously send QSL cards out on the basis of my intermediate call sign, which is 2E0HTG. And because I'm not, maybe I am too lazy, but I don't do anything with my QSOs on FT8 or SSB. I used to put them onto QRZ.com, but it's just too time consuming when you've got like a job, full-time job, and kids and everything else. So I rely on other people to do it, and what I normally do is I log into my eQSL account once or twice a week, and there are usually QSLs, you know, waiting for me to sort of sign off, and then I send them my card and I get their card. And I did go through a phase where I was printing them out, but I gave up on that as well because it was so time consuming, and I just cut and paste them into my Twitter feed, which is also Oxford Shortwave Logs. If you ever want to see any of these QSLs, some of them are really nice actually. They're on my Twitter feed. So this station in Russia doesn't seem to be able to hear me, so I think we'll give up on that. Let's try this station in Hungary. Yeah, no, that's me. Yeah, that was me. Because I'm waiting for a message on my phone, so I'm having to minimize the YouTube app on my iPhone to do this. Every time I do that, the stream kind of like hangs. I know. Well, I know. I would have to invest in like a video camera to do this, and you know, not that I'm being tight or anything, but I don't really fancy spending God knows how much money on a video camera to get this done. Right, let's go back to my live stream. So, what are the analytics and comments? Greg, oh, hi. Right, so Kevin, it ain't pretty, but it's up. Just switching everything on. All right, Kevin. Greg, okay, so you heard me. That's interesting, Greg. Yeah, actually, Greg, I've got OH2EDC. I've got OH2EDC, so I don't know how close or far they are from you. Oscar Hotel 2 Echo Delta Charlie, in the middle of a contact with Hotel Alpha Zero Hotel on my screen right now, Greg. Got any interest in the CW? No. CW, yeah, Morse. I haven't got any interest in learning it. It's funny actually, because when I did my foundation license, which was extremely easy, one of the things you had to do, well, I thought you had to learn Morse, so I tried to learn Morse. I sort of learnt it good enough to pass a test. But actually, when it came to it, you didn't actually really even need to. You didn't need to remember Morse code, because they gave you kind of a crib sheet to work from. And then, so that was the foundation license. But then when I did my intermediate license, they didn't even test you on it. There was a practical test. You had to build a project. I built a radio receiver that also kind of recharged a battery, a kit that I bought off the internet. And then obviously there's the exam, but there was nothing on CW at all on Morse. This is part of the problem with FT8 for some ham radio operators. They see FT8 as de-skilling ham radio as a hobby because it's just so easy. Like I keep saying, the hard part is setting everything up and getting it working. Once you've done that, it is straightforward. But people just think it's too easy to do once the whole thing is set up. And I get that, I do get that. But at the end of the day, it's also very popular, and there has to be a reason for that. And the idea, a hobby is supposed to be popular amongst the people that are involved in it. And learning Morse is difficult, particularly to get to any sort of level. It's really difficult to learn Morse. I tried for weeks and eventually managed to kind of remember it. But if you it's not just remembering what dots and dashes correspond to what letters. You've got to do it at speed when you're keying, and yeah. That's interesting, Kevin. You're seeing people calling me, and I'm not seeing any. So that's interesting. So there you go. What's your QTH, Kevin? Where are you exactly? Or approximately, if you don't want to say where exactly you are. Obviously, I'm sort of near Oxford. I'm calling I'm calling people, and they're not hearing me. So I'm gonna try calling CQ. So yeah, that would be interesting, Kevin. So yeah, Kevin. So if you let me know. Oh, of course, right. Yeah. Okay, yeah. All right. So you're literally 10 miles up the road. Okay. Well, that's interesting. You're seeing. I see. I'm not seeing those at all. I'm seeing stations calling where you can see my screen, but I'm not receiving. Part of the problem, Kevin, I think, is that my G5RV. Most of it's in my back garden. Some of it runs along the side of my house, and I think that might be a problem. Potentially. Yeah. So, Kevin, from what you're saying, it seems that maybe my signal is getting out better than I'm receiving. If you're seeing people calling me that I can't hear, that I'm not seeing, then that's interesting. I mean, obviously, we're not in exactly the same location, but if you're seeing people calling my signal because they're decoding me, but I can't hear them, then to me that seems to suggest that my setup is a little bit more effective at 50 watts in being heard than it is in receiving, and that's it. And that is actually, when I compare this antenna to one of my Wellbrook magnetic loops, the performance is similar, but the loop is still more sensitive. Okay, yeah, send me an email. Yeah, sure. Well, you could run one of your SDRs in parallel in the loop. Yeah, I've done that before, actually. I have actually done that before. I've had two, because I've got WSJTX set up on both of my laptops, and I've compared them directly side to side. One on the magnetic loop and one on my transmit error, which at the time was a wideband vertical. But the bottom line is that what you actually need is if you can't actually see the call on the radio that you're actually using to transmit, then you can't do anything about it. But yeah, you're right. It would be interesting, and that's what led me to understand initially that on receive my magnetic loop was superior to my wideband vertical antenna. Even though my signal was getting out, without a problem, I could always hear more on one of my magnetic loops than I ever could on my vertical antenna. And the same goes for G5RV. Exactly the same. Still hear more on the loop. But the difference, the delta in performance between the magnetic loop and a G5RV, when mine's a full-size one, it is much, much smaller. There's not much in it. But the magnetic loop is probably still a little bit more sensitive. Okay, so I've just almost completed a QSO with another German station. Delta Hotel Zero, Golf Bravo Charlie. Okay, so that one's done. It's a bit of crud around 11. I'm going to let's move this down to 1,000. Yeah, I might try that again. Actually, I might get 2 sessions of WSJTX running and see what happens. My phone is telling me that I've been live for 192 minutes. Can one of you confirm that? I don't want to squeeze my bandwidth and actually open up a live stream. But is it, actually, can one of you, is that, because I think it does say, doesn't it? Can somebody confirm that? My phone is saying live 192, 3 hours 13, right, okay. Yeah, so that's right. Wow. Wow, now I know how Gilles feels. Except you have to look at his mush, not mine. I'm too shy. Maybe one day. I think looking at my computer screen is more interesting than looking at me anyway. All right, okay. Hungary. Hotel Alpha 8, November Tango. -2. Signal to noise, decibels. Strong signal. I don't mind doing this actually on a sort of regular basis, maybe once a week if it is enjoyable to do. And it doesn't have to be FT8. Bit hard to read the screen. Think the YouTube app, yeah, maybe. Well, I think it's because, I've got my glasses on to actually read the screen anyway. I can't even see it myself and I'm sat about 2 feet away from it. I don't know if you can actually zoom. Look at that. If I'm zooming at my phone now, can you actually... Is that zooming the video? So you can actually see. Has that zoomed it? How does that look? Somebody... Yeah, okay. So is that better? You can only see part of the screen now, I know, but at least you can see what's coming in. Is that a bit better? Good, yeah. Yeah, no, as I was saying, I don't mind doing, I don't mind doing something live, like once a week. It can be FT8 or, how many receivers I've got. I could do something live, just tuning the bands. I could use a different receiver every week. Shortwave, medium wave. I did a test actually the other night that went on for about 2 or 3 hours, just tuning mainly through medium wave, just listening out for transatlantic signals on medium wave. So this guy in Hungary doesn't seem to be able to hear me, which is fine. Just wait a minute. Should be doing what's fun for you when you feel like it, otherwise it becomes a chore. That's true, actually. That is true. Yeah, exactly. I suppose. I think that's true. Yeah, I suppose if I committed to doing it every week and then every Saturday afternoon, I might start thinking, oh my God, it's Saturday afternoon soon and I'm going to have to sit down and do this for 3 hours. So yeah, maybe, I think that's true. I think there is something going on the software that's not obvious. I've sent that I have heard you, but you don't show up on my list. Oh, right. That's interesting. Yeah. Don't know, Greg. Not sure. What have I got here? Oh, it's not. No, I've got an Oscar. I've got an Oscar Echo 6 Hotel Foxtrot. Foxtrot. For a second there, got excited. It's not you. It's not even Finland. Yeah, I don't know, Greg. Yeah. Yeah. No, a guy, a friend of Kevin, who lives about 10 miles away. He's got his antenna. He can see people calling me. That I can't see here, so he's picking up stations that I'm not picking up, and I made the point that when I was using the vertical antenna, the difference in receive performance between that and one of my Wellbrook loops was quite large. The Wellbrook loop was significantly more sensitive. The delta in receive performance between that and my G5RV is much less, but still the loop is a bit more sensitive. And I have done that in the past. In the past, I have had 2 sessions of WSJTX running, one on the magnetic loop and one on my transmit aerial, and I was hearing a lot more with the loop. Okay, so the station in Hungary, Hotel Alpha 8 November Tango, has just answered my call. He's not hearing me very well, but he's answered anyway. Interesting. Just going to shut the curtains as it's now nearly dark. I'm on version 2.1.2, and I don't know whether that's the latest version or not. It's one of the later versions. It might still be the latest version. Okay, so that contact's completed with the operating Hungary. I think it's one of the later versions. Whether it's the latest or not, I don't know. I'm not sure, but I guess somebody could look online and would be able to figure that one out pretty quickly. But it's one of the later. I was on the old piece of software that actually was completely defunct, and I was like on FT8 and there was nobody on it, and until I realised that another Italian station, -1 dB signal to noise, quite strong. Yeah, I didn't realise that they'd completely changed the sort of protocol. I don't know, the handshake protocol, and that it just simply wouldn't work. Latest general availability 2.1.2. Yeah, that's what I've got, V 2.1.2. So I do have the latest version. Yeah. But there was an older version, and eventually there were some warning signs coming up saying this will not work. Excuse me. Excuse me. That's when I realised that that's why there was no one on FT8, because it was just me and whoever was left, this ragtag bunch of operators who hadn't realised that they were using the old version of the software that wasn't compatible. Everyone else had moved on to the later version. Okay, sorry, I had to check messages. I'm back. So hopefully you can still hear me. Yeah, so anyway, yeah, so I fell into that trap temporarily. All right, Greg, yeah, see you soon. Yeah, it was fun, even though we didn't quite make contact yet again. It was fun trying. We'll no doubt we'll try again at some point in the future. Have a good evening, although I guess in Finland it's officially already evening. Right, so that Italian station doesn't seem to be hearing me, so let's try this Spanish station. Echo Alpha 5, X-Ray Charlie. Yeah, that's me, Kevin. That was me. He should be back. He'll be back again. That was me having to check my messages. Okay, yeah, that was me. I'm having to. Can you? I guess you guys can still give me a thumbs up if you can still hear me. That every now and then I have to check my messages, and so I have to minimise the YouTube app on my phone. The current stream status is bad. Can hear you fine. Yeah. Okay. Okay. Fine. Yeah. Yeah. Every time I minimise the app on my phone to check my messages, the stream drops completely. It stops broadcasting live, and then it comes back and it says it's bad while it resynchronizes itself, and in a minute it'll come back and it'll be good. So I don't know whether you can see or not yet, but maybe not, but I'm just calling Echo Alpha 5 X-Ray Charlie as his signal is +1 dBs. Okay, so you should be able to see me again now. The stream is resynchronized and now is good. Oh, right. Oh, that's interesting. Maybe try reloading the page, Kevin. My buffer thing, just black. Oh, right. Yeah, I would just reload the whole page. Just hit the little circular arrow thing. It'll probably reload. According to my phone, I'm live for 202 minutes. Interesting. Let me, okay. Can you still hear me? I guess you can still hear me. Yeah. Don't know. Not sure what's going on there. Well, must be a sign. Well, a sign it's time to give in. Maybe. It might not be. I mean, if you guys can still hear me, my bandwidth here is I've got 80 meg, so I have fiber. So my bandwidth is 80, and it might drop to 78, 77, but basically it's 80 meg. I'm doing it on 40 meters. I'm calling on 40 meters. Okay, you're calling me. Yeah, I can't see you calling me, but I'm calling. I'll tell you what I'll do, Kevin. If you can still hear me, I'm going to stop calling CQ, and I'm going to wait and see if I can, if your signal. You're probably a bit close on 40, actually, to be calling me, unless there's some short skip stuff going on.
Is the video still down? It's saying stream status bad. Is there still no video? Yeah, no. Oh, interesting. That is interesting. Okay, well, I'm still going, so it says stream status bad, but it hopefully will resynchronize itself. Feels like it streams black screen, the video there. Oh, okay. I think... Okay, now the stream status is good. So now YouTube is telling me the stream status is good. So that should mean that it's working. Or if you've still got no video. If you've still got no video, what I'll do is I'll start again. I can close this. It takes about a minute to close it all down and just start another live stream. So I can do that if it's still not showing. I see 2E0. Ah, right. Kevin. 2E0 SP6DG. 2E0. Really? Ah. Let me call this Austrian station. Right, Kevin, if you can hear me, I'm just started calling Oscar Echo 7 Bravo Foxtrot Tango, an Austrian station. Still no video, guys? Or is it back? Still no. Okay. All right. What I'll do is no video. I'll stop this live stream and I'll start a new stream. So that'll appear in let me just stop this one now and I'll start another one. Stop.